start there. So I've sent you all over PDF just to cover like proteins, carbs, but if we speak about it now, it probably won't sink in. It's gonna probably get more interaction from question and answers, and you're all gonna remember it a bit more. So I'll all come equipped with questions. So we'll just cover the topics that you've thought about or you've had questions about, and not really. And no question is going to be stupid as well. They're all good questions. I think there's one more coming, Alex, but that's it. Yeah. Yeah, so who wants to go first? And we'll just kick it off and then just see where it goes. Go ahead, Cam.
I have a major problem. This is an AA meeting, yeah?
What's that?
This is an AA meeting, isn't it? I have a major problem with planning.
Yeah.
Like being prepared with my food. And I get these dead good ideas, I can do it. Then I just go, oh, my head falls off and I go, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm really keen to understand how people do that and how many days in advance they plan. And I've never planned food. I always just do it on the fly.
So I've done it once where I've been like, right, I need to sit down and plan it like a few days in advance. You know, I'm lucky enough I can go home in the day, so I won't say that I plan Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right.
So you're probably better off getting an answer from somebody else who's got it nailed down. But for me, I sat there on like a Sunday, and at first I thought, right, I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I got like frustrated because I couldn't do it. This was about a year and a half ago, because I'd never prepped food and I thought I need to do it.
Yeah, I need to do it.
Yeah, so that I can tell people. So I just sat there, and at first it took me about 3 hours to do, and it was proper frustrating because I had all these meals set out because there was just food everywhere. And I don't know what anybody else has been like, they might have been the same. I just thought, right, I just need to start somewhere. So I just got one meal sorted, and then that was one meal. And about 3.5 hours later, I was sorted.
Well, as in your lunch for 3 days?
Well, it's the best thing to do, and this is what I always tell people, the best thing to do is prep the meals that's most important, and it's in there actually, in the PDF. So let's say you're out from, what do most people work like? 9 to 5?
Yeah. There are jobs.
Oh, yeah. Well, then, I don't know. I'm not a real job, so I don't know.
7:30.
7:30. What else? What other time?
You go to travel.
9 to 5. Like 6 to 8, 4, whatever. Right. So the main meals that you're going to be out of the house, you can either do it so that you've got 5 meals, or what I've been doing recently is 3 meals, but you've got to make sure that you've got enough calories in. So if you want to make your breakfast, like my breakfast is about 800 calories, so then it does me then until about like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So it's just making sure that you've got enough calories in that meal. For me, it's easier to manage doing a larger meal rather than thinking that you've got 5 meals to prep. So like, right, I need to do my snack, so that's my snack. My lunch is there, my breakfast is there. Don't like try and overcomplicate it, just pick the important meals first and then just fill in the gaps around it.
Okay.
That answers your question.
It does, because you just isn't there on the edge. I'm looking at me food thinking I need to get say 500 calories in for breakfast. And in fact I could do 800, couldn't I?
Yeah.
And it all put on my ears and all sorts.
Yeah.
Full. Then I've got nothing.
So use that. Yeah.
So I'm sort of.
You've got like 4 or 5 meals that you
I am, yeah. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've really struggled with that. So I've got to like, I've been working, I'm thinking, I need to get something in my mouth before I do it. I'm struggling getting the calories in me.
Yeah.
Whereas if I make a big breakfast, some sort of 800 calories.
Yeah.
I'll
do that before you even started your day, and then you know that it's done. Especially when you train in mornings as well. If anybody trains in mornings, you've got to make sure you've got enough calories after you've trained. Otherwise, you're going to be on your ass in 2 hours' time. 2 hours later. Is anybody else? Is it linked with anybody else's question? That
I was going to ask about carbs. So I eat a lot of rice, and mainly I eat whole grain rice, and again got really sick of it. So someone said to me basmati rice was also okay to eat. So I eat portions of that as well. So I wanted to check with you if you felt that was okay.
I eat more white rice. I can't remember the last time I had brown rice.
So you
white rice.
like basmati rice?
Yeah.
You don't just eat
long
grain
rice.
You eat long grain rice?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought that was like really
yeah,
bad eating that.
Like nutritionists say that the brown rice, because it's got like it's higher in fibre than white rice. It's got like a phytic acid in it, so then you can become bloated with it. So the white rice hasn't got it in, and obviously you have veg and everything with your meals now.
Yeah.
So
So
you
can
don't
it?
need that. Yeah,
So
it's
it
easy
doesn't
to
matter.
digest. the
Right.
white
Okay.
rice.
And then the other thing I was going to ask is this thing that you hear about like carbs in the evening. So let's say I train at 6:30 and then I go home and I have steak and veg or chicken and veg or whatever. I have just been putting, like, obviously my goal is normally gaining weight,
Yeah.
and so I have actually been putting a portion of rice with it. I've not really been bothered about doing that, but I wanted to check if that was something that you thought was
Yeah.
good, or does it not matter, or what?
It does matter, but like half of these questions will be all for individual, and I'll chat to you about them. Or if you want to ask questions, then we can apply it. So like for Steve, he's trying to gain weight, put muscle mass on. So he's having carbs in the evening, but it can also apply. Is that steak? Always late. Nah, it's just trained. You made it all, didn't you? Yeah. So it can apply to people who's putting weight on, they're trying to gain muscle mass, and it can also apply to people who are trying to lose weight and don't feel like they've got enough energy in the morning. There's different ways that you can work putting in carbs in the evening. I always have carbs in the evening because I love my tea, and it gives me enough energy in the morning. So like, my situation is I wake up early in the morning, so that I don't need to have my breakfast, and it'll do me for like 3 hours. I can train based on my meal at night. You're not going to store fat, store energy, while if you consume a high carb or a high calorie meal. It's just how you digest it. So if you're only having 1,500 calories, say ladies, let's just say 1,500 calories, and you have 1,000 of them calories at night, you are going to be bloated. You probably struggle to go to sleep because of the amount of food that you're trying to take in. But now on the other hand, if you was to have 500 calories and 300 calories of it comes from carbs, then there's no problem there because you're still just getting that right amount of carbohydrates.
So what about, like, if I finish work late and then I can only do, say, half 6 past, or half 7, and then I'm only making tea, by the time I get it's about 9:30,
Yeah.
half an hour, so is that, and then I'm going to bed not long after that, so is that bad?
Do you feel like you're full? Like, do you
Never.
feel like... so when you lie in bed, is it keeping you awake? Because you know some food, it's fine. I do that, like, sometimes I'll eat... I can, personally, have my food and then 20 minutes later go to bed. But Diana can't, she'll
I thought
have...
it just like don't digest.
Some people yes, some people not. So like, if you're finding that... Who's like that? Anybody else?
I gotta sleep late.
Sleep, you want to eat late? And you go to sleep soon after? Yeah. Straight away. Is there anybody who eats late and can't go to sleep? What time are you going to sleep?
After club.
And what time do you eat?
But I always go to sleep late. Probably
What time
I'm
do you
doing
eat?
now.
9 and then maybe sleep at 12. But you
No,
still can't
no.
sleep, can you?
Yeah.
So that's like not linked with eating late. and
No, that's just me.
just
being a
sleep. Right, we'll go into sleep in a bit, but yeah, that's another part. But is there anybody who struggles to eat and go to sleep, like, close together? No. Yeah, you won't find that a lot.
Is there a difference between trying to get to sleep and then waking up?
So like waking up at 2 hours later, or
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Intermittent. Is that different?
we'll talk about sleep in a bit, but yeah, possibly.
Is it a question now?
Yeah.
For lunches, is there anything that you can prep what you can have cold? Do you know, like you can have a sandwich?
Yeah.
Everything
With enough calories. With
yeah,
enough
like
calories.
what a good lunch would be without having to heat it up. Say you're like driving somewhere in the car, you would eat, and
Yeah.
then you've not, because I find that I'm not eating all day until I'm starving.
So if you can eat, who can eat it? Who can't eat it at what's supposed to be a warmer meal?
I can eat it in my family.
Yeah. Who struggles with eating like one cold? Do you struggle with eating cold meals?
What? Cold rice?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Do you struggle with that?
Yeah.
Right. So if you struggle with that,
You like that food?
I don't mind it cold.
I always have to have it cold in the winter, I'm sorry.
Right. So if you struggle eating that, if you struggle eating like rice or whatever else, sweet potato, then always go for a salad. But you've got to put good fat with it. Or like you can't eat cold veg.
Can you make a wrap? Or can you not use like a whole meal?
Romaine lettuce, like wraps of bread in there, so they don't sit well. You don't burn off real. So you just got to be realistic whether you want enough calories in the day and you want it to be like an optimal meal if you're really trying to lose body fat.
So if you was on the go, could you just have snack food as your lunch? As, you know, like nuts and bagel and stuff?
Yeah, but you got to part that. So like, if you're out and you have worst case scenario, you're out. Obviously, don't reach for like, I don't know, a Mars bar, protein Mars bar or something. You've got to try and think of whole foods like nuts. But then, if you can, also pair it with something. So maybe like now it's easier than ever. So you can go to Tesco and pick up cashews and get some chicken and partner that with each other.
Right.
If you can't eat, if you struggle to eat cold food that's supposed to be warm, then always high fat, high protein. Like you'll see the list in your PDFs, but it's like avocados, almonds, cashews, all that kind of stuff. Avocado, halloumi, if you can eat that cold. So you've got to go for high fat, high protein, unless you can eat like rice and broccoli and all that stuff.
What we can eat both.
What's that?
What we can eat both.
Just eating a meal then, that's what you're supposed to be eating.
So
Yeah.
in the PDF that you mentioned, does that list different carbs that
Yeah.
we can eat? Yeah, because that was something else I was going to ask, but it's on there, is it? Yeah. Alright, so.
Did that answer it, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, keep them coming.
I've got another question. I really like chocolate. I told you before.
Yeah.
And I don't drink much tea or coffee, but I drink a lot of green tea, and I love green tea with protein bars. It's like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So when you scan over whatever you call it, MyFitnessPal, it's frightening how much, excuse the French, shite in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
In your protein bar,
Yeah. so is there any good protein bars that you can recommend that can get that crave away from me?
There's probably good snacks that I could recommend. Like about 3 days ago, I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, I made pancakes, but then I melted dark chocolate like 80%. I just boiled the kettle, put it in a bowl, put tin foil over and put like 25 grams of chocolate on there, and then I just made the pancakes and then drizzled the dark chocolate
Yeah, I
over
saw
it.
that.
Yeah. So there's ways around it. Like for me, I can't have protein bars. Sometimes I'll have them if I'm really hungry. There's nothing else. But I blow with them because I've had them so many times around my training window. So it makes like your gut can't digest when you're the most stressed after like repetition of eating at that most stressful time. So for me, I have vegan protein now instead of whey. It's the same with the protein that's in bars. It's made with whey, most of it.
Oh, okay.
But you're allowed to eat, not allowed to, but you eat pancakes? I
Yeah.
thought they were bad.
Oats, make them with oats.
All right, okay. You just buy them in a shop. You can buy them in
No,
Tesco,
so-
or you got to order them.
No,
You
they're
made
eggs,
it?
mate. I've got eggs, pancakes, yeah. Right, so you blend the
What
oats.
protein in it as well then?
No, I have it separate because it makes it taste a bit crap. Unless you've got like because I've got vegan protein now, it'll taste like crap. But if you've got like maple syrup or vanilla will be good. Sticky toffee pudding, you can put that in and it tastes good.
Is
But
it
I always have it
flour?
separate.
Yeah, put it in the bowl for that.
You can also make you can blend the oats to make a flour, and then you use that. So you put an egg in, and then a little bit of almond milk or coconut milk, and then wazz it up.
So you can have them for breakfast?
Yeah, I have them at night time and then load them with loads of
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm coffee dinner roll. But you can also use oats as your flour. So like if you like after some kind of thickener and you want to make a pastry or something, use oats as your flour. It just acts the same. You don't get as blood. Like if I have any kind of homemade pastry now, bang straight away imported. So I use oats and it just takes it away.
So
Even
could
with
you
grapes and stuff.
like send us the recipe or something for them
Yeah, yeah.
pancakes and the
Yeah.
guide or whatever?
Yeah. I've got them on phone. I'll send them.
We won't forget.
Yeah, I know you're all.
Like a bad first recipe.
Yeah, keep going. I know you've all got questions. Don't all be shy.
I've been told by a doctor recently because I've got problems with my bowels and shit.
Literally.
Well, they told me I've got to stop eating as much protein.
Yeah.
So where do I go from there? Start eating
What we
ground.
protein like 0.8 per gram.
Hmm.
Like I've lowered mine over the last four weeks, just to cycle it and get more like good fats and fibre in fruit. So all you need to do though is just lower it. So like let's say you've got 2,000 calories, just use 700 of them from protein. As long as you're getting good fuel sources and good nutrients so that you can digest it properly. There's no issue there as long as you're in a deficit. Probably work even better for you, to be honest with you. Yeah,
What is the situation with fruit?
eat it. Yeah. So like I partner it. What's that?
I thought you were just going back berries. That's fruit.
So there's certain fruits that you can use as like, I use them as a bit of a supplement. So berries, extra fibre in your meals. Watermelon I use a lot, that's good for histamine. Grapefruit, easy for digestion, and pomegranate as well. So them main ones are like full of antioxidants. You can partner them with food. So if you was to eat them, and it's in the thing that I sent over, but if you was to eat them on your own, and this is where people will be like, nah, fruit's full of sugar. It is, but it's good and it's fibre that you need. So if you was to partner it with a meal, so like let's say I've got protein on my plate, I've got veg, I've got good fat, let's say I've got a carb as well, like a complex carb. If you was to put a fruit with it, then it's only going to add nutrient density to your meal, as opposed to just having it on its own and then being hungry half an hour later, and then wanting to eat something else. So it's actually adding better quality into the meal that you're having. Yeah, but I'd probably just put them in every so often, like the same with grapes, and it's all about trying to vary the amount of food that you're taking in. But again, I wouldn't have it on its own.
So what are the good fruits again? Because I wasn't really...
Watermelon, pomegranate, you weren't really listening.
I was listening.
Watermelon, pomegranate, grapefruit.
So about bananas, is that no?
Yeah, potassium, yeah.
Kiwis, yeah.
Kiwis, yeah, vitamin C.
So you put the stuff as a smoothie with like Greek yogurt in it.
No, right, so if you was to have fruit with Greek yogurt, let's say, and what else? Almond milk, coconut milk. Which one? Right one.
What with the
Nada.
I used to have it with a scoop with some protein powder.
Yeah.
Mix it in the yogurt and
Yeah.
then add some fruit.
Yeah. Right, so if you was to have...
No.
And what?
No.
Yeah, right, so if you was to have, like going back to fruit, if you was to have fruit on its own, then the sugars of that meal is going to go sky high, so then it's going to mess with your blood sugar. The glycemic index of having fruit with some good fats and some protein, it brings it straight down then into a smoothie, rather than having loads of dairy sugar, fruit sugar, so fructose, and having some other kind of like simple carbohydrate. So you've got to think about, and again it's in that, I keep referring back to that, but dependent on the meal and the density of the meal, you can manipulate that so that it's slow releasing and it's good, so that you're not like craving something half an hour later. So you can make smoothies, but it's just about putting in the denser calories as well.
Yeah, maybe with chicken.
Yeah, it's a bacon then. Chicken. No, so like for a perfect thing, one for like smoothie, put some avocado in because you won't be able to taste it, it's flavourless. Yeah, kiwi, some other berry, protein. So then you've got protein. If you had it on your plate, it'd just be protein and fat on it, and then you'd have your fruit in. It's an easy way of doing it.
Where's
Yeah,
your
you got-
protein coming from?
Sure.
A supplement, yeah, shit. Not chicken like
Did you have that
that.
for lunch on the go as well?
What's that?
Desperate times if you lunch
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the go.
Probably shake it though, because the avocado man. Pen and paper over here. Come on.
I have a question there. I was kind of asking it. That's going to say about snacks. So
Yeah.
I never eat on snacks. I never eat on calories. That's when you shake and say,
Yeah.
but if I make it big as smash another meal, I'll probably eat it.
Yeah.
And put it together because I always used to just take like a ton of blueberries and that would be with that because it was something I could cook and eat.
Yeah. But it answered a few questions that, didn't it? But everybody had. Can I eat 5 meals or is 3 alright? You had that in the questions.
What about fasting? You know, I hate eating breakfast.
Somebody else asked about that. I think Reeves asked about that as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so when people ask me about fasting, like I'll fast for, like I said, in the morning. So it can like regulate blood sugar, boost growth hormone. You can be switched on more as well, so you release dopamine. But when it comes to somebody who's on a diet, it's up and down. So like no real consistency with it. I've done it in the past where I've fasted, but this is like back in the day when I was about 19, trying to get shredded from my love.
in a week.
Yeah, lost about 12 pounds in a week. Like it messed up my consistency of eating, so I'd go from eating nothing all day, and then I'd want to just smash in everything, and then it'd start again, and then about 3 or 4 weeks later, I'd eat some crap food, me and Dinah, and just like fill our boots, and they'd be like, right, I'm fasting tomorrow. So then you fast tomorrow, kill yourself, starving yourself all day, and then Tuesday comes around, and then you'll eat alright, and then in the back of your head you think, right, I might eat something else here,
Because
and I might fast again, yeah? But it's just being realistic, like, if you can, personally, if you think that you can do that, then do it, and if it works for you, try it. But I've never recommended it to anybody before, but that's what I mean, like, people, it could work for some people.
But you can do 12-12, can't you? That's fasting.
You do 12-12, you can do 5-2, there's loads of ways you can do it.
So just have a lazy breakfast. If you ate it like.
That's what I'm saying, I do that, but I'd never do it so that I'm like dying, walking around just for the sake of fasting. Because like, I think it outweighs the negative, the benefits of it. Yeah.
It's not sustainable though, is it?
That's what I mean, no, it's like you're killing yourself and you'll walk past a shop or something and see somebody eating. And if you go to, I've done it, and it's just like, if you've got a stressful day or something happens at work, the first thing you're going to do is like, right, I was going to swear then, sod this fasting, I'm going eating something. And you do it, it's human instinct that you go and grab something. And you do it even if you're not on a fast, you'll be out and you'll be starving and you'll go for it. So it's just whether you can manage it. Personally, I can't.
manage that, it's just a day.
It's a day, yeah.
What do you-
Keep going.
Alcohol.
Yeah. So you so like with alcohol, for me, I have it most Saturdays and it messes my sleep up. So it's like 7. So if you could do it right. So I've done it in the past where I've missed maybe 2 meals out, and then I've saved my calories for drinking, and I've done it and I've lost weight. But like the hormonal effects of it throughout the whole week of you being tired and you craving more food, far outweigh like just the sake of having maybe 2 or 3. Like I've heard that even just having one drink messes your sleep up completely. So you can lose weight with it, but it's just the struggle after and the sleep, and obviously lack of sleep, cortisol goes up. You want to reach for everything again, and it just throws all your hormones out of whack. But you, like I said, you can do it, and it is manageable. But it's just again cutting something out to make room for alcohol. So like if you're at a place where you want to maintain, then yeah, go for it. But if you want to really crack on with nutrition and really get leaner, I'd say it's not worth it. Yeah, I'd rather go off 700 calories of the Lillian Arthurs than go King Street, walk about. Any other questions?
Yeah, mine is what people do for. My bad time is from after having my dinner, breakfast I'm fine, healthy breakfast, healthy dinner, then it's between dinner time, getting home from work, messing about with the kids, and that sounds wrong, doesn't it? Taking the kids, football, stuff like that, and that's a full week, and then eating my tea at 8.
Yeah.
So in them windows, I don't really prep out for that. And then it's like the mini cheddars, stuff like that, penguin, do you know what I mean? Boom, 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 and that's my.
Yeah.
In between that and fine, it's that window. So
the
any
window
ideas,
between like
snacks,
lunch?
or yeah, so from lunch to like sitting down for my tea and that energy crash
Yeah.
in between. Do you know what I mean? Where there's any snack or something that'll give me enough energy and not so much calories to get.
So with fats, it's like they'll last for longer. So if you used to have a high fat, high protein meal, they'll last you 3-4 hours if it was big enough. So let's say for fellas that are made like to sustain what you're doing. If you're training, it's going to be a little bit high. But let's just say you're on 2,500, and for your breakfast you're going to eat 700, and then you know for a fact what your tea is going to be that night. So let's say it's another 700. So you've got a space of 1,100 there. So whether you can fit one more meal in the morning, and then another one in the afternoon, another one at your lunchtime, so that it like kind of you're at 1,500, you won't notice then.
Right.
It's just getting them calories in before you can get to the point of like, right, no food left, like I'm starving here, and then that's when you stop reaching and stuff.
That's my worst habit. Like,
Yeah, and it is like I've done it where I've drawn over for gym. You get into a habit of like, as in like working, not training, and then going to shop. But like driving home from work and going into a petrol station and picking up a protein bar, you can get into a habit of that dead easy. So it's just kind of breaking the habit but putting in foods that replace that. So like carbohydrates, if you're having carbs and protein and then you're having maybe some fruit, it's like trying to if you can stabilise your blood sugar, then you're not gonna want to go and reach for that food because you're not gonna need that energy. Whereas if you go for a high protein, high fat, you're just gonna be like that. Not straight away, but like 3, 4, 5 days in, you're gonna be more or less like in sync with it, and it's just kind of like saying no straight away. And then as soon as you do that, it's like a muscle in it, discipline. So as soon as you start saying no to something, it'll become like a little bag thought in your head rather than right, I need to do this and this. It's not going to be habitual then. For calories, do you all know what you're at for calories? What you should be eating or whatever? No, right.
Blame the leader.
What's that? Yeah.
I've never counted calories in my life.
Right, so who else doesn't track calories? Don't be ashamed, put your hands up.
I do that.
You do now, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'd say there's like periods where you need to track. So if you've never done it before, then I'd say do it. And it's a case of doing it for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, however long it takes you for you to know that amount of food is more or less that amount of calories. Do you know what I mean? So like, would you know now that what is roughly between 150 grams of chicken to 200? You probably wouldn't. So if you go through that initial period of like learning about your foods, then you're gonna have more tools in the future when you're out and trying to manage the food that you're eating. So like, let's say you could be under eating but you don't know about it. So like, when people come to me and they say, right, I need to do this, more often than not, they're under eating on the calories, but they don't know it because they've never tracked the calories before. So if you sit down and think, right, I need to eat this, this, and this, oh yeah, that's why I've been feeling like that. You don't actually know until you manage it. So I would say to everybody, if you've not done it before, track your calories on MyFitnessPal. Have you got MyFitnessPal?
Got it.
Yeah. So MyFitnessPal, dead easy, but you do get like random things in there. So you just gotta at first be a little bit mindful of, do you think that's the right amount of calories? Or if you're unsure, just message me and just I'll look at it. But once you've like got your library there, then you can keep going back to it. Then I'll show you it in the gym. But yeah, if you're a fella, ideally, really, you need to be hitting at least 2,200 to like 2,500 at least. If you're at 2,000 and you're doing and you're training, then you're going to be on your backside by Wednesday, Thursday. Who's done that? Where they'll have a bad weekend and then Monday they start and then Thursday they're on their ass. Who's done it?
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's why
I've done it.
I completely struggle the weekend.
The weekend?
The weekend and it's crap days.
What with
go
all?
all weekend with dead good, and it comes like a Saturday or Friday, go with girls and food, and stuff like that.
So it's the same thing as what was on about with Clint. It's like habitual.
Yeah.
Just try. It's going to be hard to try and break it, but put things in place instead. Or like go out with the girls, but just change one thing
Yeah.
rather than having like a pita bread or something. Put something else in what will replace it, and then the next week try and change something else. It's just like slowly tweaking it all the time. But going back to calories, if you're under eating, then you're going to know about it Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and it's just a vicious cycle again. So people will start dieting, and if I say to them push the calories up, you won't notice weight loss straight away. But if you stick with it, you'll slowly start to notice that you're getting hungrier and hungrier because your body's absorbing the nutrients, the protein, the carbs, the fats, a hell of a lot better than it was 4 weeks ago. So you know then like that your health markers are going up. So you're starting to burn fat, you're starting to build muscle, all your organs are starting to function properly. You're training harder, you're getting stronger, all that good stuff happens only when your food gets pushed up. Like you'll get stronger now on lower calories, but increasing your water, increasing your fibre, increasing all your food across the board, you're going to notice a massive difference in 5 months' time. You'll notice a big difference if you cut your calories straight away from week 1 to 4, but how many times has everybody done that where you start low and then before you know it, you're back to square one, and then you start low, and you're back to square one. It happens all the time. So it's just a case of getting your food tracked, know exactly what works well for you, and then creeping it up and changing things then from there. Also, if you have, let's say, everybody goes for porridge. So let's just say porridge, protein in the morning, and then for your dinner you've got like chicken, rice and veg, and then some kind of sweet potato or something for your dinner. It only comes from tracking that and changing it around slightly that you know what works well for you. So like for me, if I have oats and protein in the morning, I know that I'm going to be tired in an hour and a half time. Whereas if I have no breakfast or if I have high fat, high protein, your blood sugar stabilises. your blood sugar stabilises, and you're not going to be hungry. You're not going to have that crash like Cav, you noticed it, are you?
I have massively, yeah.
So Cav, as always, how many years now?
4 years, porridge every morning.
Porridge, and this will work for everybody. It works for me. If you was to have some kind of carbohydrate in the morning, you probably start crashing and burning maybe in the afternoon if you've got like a high stressful job and you don't sleep that well. Whereas if you switch your macronutrients up, you can affect your energy levels with the food that you change around. For me, I only put carbs in after I've trained. If I feel like I've got a big session coming up, then I'll probably put them in an hour and a half before, so that I'm not, like, my food's digested and I can properly use it. After you've trained as well, I'd probably wait about an hour, just so that everything's settled down, like I was going on about before with the whey protein. You need your stressful state of training to calm down so that you can digest your food properly, rather than as soon as you get in eating something, like your body's still recovering from the training session you've just done, and you're going to throw some food.
Oh, you're not going to do that? I always got told that like you have 20 minute
Window.
20 minute
Yeah.
to eat after
The
you
protein synthesis,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you can synthesize proteins, but
I
all
got told to eat carbs though, so like after
carbs straight away.
in 20 minutes I have to have like 3 rice cakes and peanut butter or something.
Yeah. So you already have like blood sugar in your bloodstream. When you start training, your body's going to go to that sugar, and after you start training as well. Because if you think about it, if you check your watch, let's say your heart rate's like through the roof. If you check your watch in an hour's time, it's probably still going to be coming down slowly. So your body's still working to like partition all the nutrients that you've had throughout the day. So you don't need extra food to go in. You need everything to calm down so you can eat it then and then properly digest it all.
So you don't need to eat straight after you train?
No. Unless you're new to training and you just took a massive whack in training for an hour and your blood sugar goes bang because it doesn't know what's happened. That's when you should eat something. But if you're used to it and you're used to the stressful state of training, then I'd say leave it for at least half an hour, 45 minutes.
Were you saying they don't have porridge for your breakfast?
Just listen to the last 5 minutes.
No, I think no. Is that what you're saying? Don't have?
Well, for some people it works. Like, if you don't like certain fats and you need high calories for your breakfast, so let's say you need 900 calories for your breakfast, you won't need 900 calories. Let's say you need 700 calories for your breakfast, and the easiest way for you to get it in is oats and protein, then yeah, have it.
You say there's better ways to do it.
For some people, yeah, for others, no.
What happens if you don't like plain porridge and you have, like them like zero calorie like syrups?
Yeah, you're fine now.
Are they all alright?
Yeah.
What?
As long as you don't go,
And they syrup and zero.
just give it the old little squeezy, 2 squeezes, you'll be fine. Yeah.
And also tea, I got told that tea makes me fat. Is that
The milk in the tea might make you bloat, it won't make you fat.
Oh, I stopped drinking tea.
I know it's milk.
But I can't have that much milk now, so if I have a cup of tea, then I'll bloat a little bit.
Yeah.
I've tried with coconut milk, but it tastes like crap. I can have coffee with it, slowly go on to that.
Alex is going to be out.
What's that?
Yeah.
Thin. Coffee make you thin. Yeah, just have coffee all day. You all be going away like coffee makes you thin. Somebody will be eating some veg or something. You don't need that shit, just have coffee. Like, where you all seeing where you want to take your food? Like, because I'm not doing any challenges because they work for some people in the past, but they don't work for 80% of people. Because you just go back to the start. What I want to try and do is like, this is why I'm doing this now. Try and make you more knowledgeable about the food that you're eating, so you know what works for your own body, rather than me giving you something and some guidelines, and then 12 weeks later thinking that it doesn't work, or it works but it's not sustainable. You need to try to stop going around in circles and like learn become more knowledgeable about the food that you're eating, and see where you are in a year's time, because there'll be a massive difference rather than seeing where you are in 10 weeks' time. It's like the starting point is get yourself healthy, get your calories up, get the food that agrees with you, because some food might agree with me but it might not agree with yourselves. Like getting all your food in place and your calories, and start to sleep better, hydrate more, start to feel more energised, then the weight loss will happen. Don't just start and go, right, I'm on it Monday, where's that celery, where's that chicken? Because it works for 3 days, or it works for 3 weeks. So it's just about taking it slow, getting yourself stronger. That's why when you come in class, I'm not like, right, 20 tens, then 100 reps of this, like from Wednesdays. He's trying to teach you how to train proper, get you stronger, not straight away, but in a year's time, you'll be the one who's deadlifting 80 kilogram or 100 kilogram or whatever it is, and that same person who's training at somewhere else is still doing the same thing. It's exactly the same as with your food. So it's more of a slow process than straight away you're in there. So I hope you're all like taking on board as well sessions. You are. You all your spines, your chin's not tucked yet, but your spines are all straight. Has anybody got any thoughts on like challenges or like wanting to just have a starting point or like a bit of an accelerator thing?
I think like what you was mentioned to me the other day about like a weigh and measure and stuff like that. So I think personally I'd find that useful.
Yeah.
I'm not actually that bothered myself about challenges.
Yeah.
I've done a few in my time and I'm not that fussed about them, but I am keen on that personal progression, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so,
definitely.
because that's what motivates me to keep training.
Yeah.
But over like a longer period, like you said, say 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and just seeing where you can go with it. So I mean, I do think it'd be good if we're doing that,
Yeah.
even more so than challenges myself.
Yeah. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
I think you go hell for leather with challenges, you go hell for leather, and I have always fall off bad at the end of it.
Yeah.
And so
I've done it as well. I had a cake, maybe a cake, yeah. A cake went in 3 days. It was a good cake though. Yeah, who else would like to I'll get a diary going and do weight measures. Yeah.
Keep on
Yeah.
track with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it's one thing learning about how you train and getting stronger, but everybody wants to look good, don't they?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Stage like, like yeah. So yeah, I'll get a diary, and then it might not be every 2 weeks, might be every 3 weeks, but it's just keeping you in check.
But you know then if anyone's like into the brick wall, then you
Yeah.
can help them with the food.
Yeah, exactly.
Change some of it.
Yeah, I don't want anybody as well struggling on their own. If they've got any questions, like that's why I've done this tonight. I am worried that it's all been about training, but there's 2 sides to it in there. So if you've got any questions, bang them on the group, ask me. Don't just struggle. Like the worst thing that I think could happen is if somebody's like not getting out of what I want them to get out of. Like there's a few of you now, and I want to be able to give everybody what they need from the training and from the food. If somebody's going through like the motions and they're struggling with something and not saying, or they've got a question, or they're feeling a certain way, then come to me and talk to me, because that's the only way that you're going to progress in it. Anything else?
So when you mentioned before about calories, about
Yeah.
getting like 2,200, the stuff before like I struggle to eat that many calories
Yeah.
when I'm working.
Yeah.
So what I'm before is like the keto diet, you only eat 3 times a day, maybe 2, and then you get all the calories in.
Yeah.
Could you still like build muscle mass on the keto diet, or just stay away from it, or?
You can, but carbs are more anabolic, so if you used to put carbs in, it's more protein sparing. But you still get a certain stimulus from training, because you get more protein synthesis if you train. It's just the carbs that are gonna like replenish what you're using in your training session. So it acts as a bit of like a safety barrier for your muscle. But if you was to use keto, then yeah, you get results and you still build muscle, but I just don't think it'd go on as quick. It's more of like kind of a weight loss kind of thing. But at the same time, you improve insulin resistance if you go for keto. So then when you do eventually start to put carbs back in, you can improve like the pathways where your muscle takes in carbohydrates a hell of a lot better. But it's that whole fasting and keto thing.
So would that be cycling on keto and then going off it like a balance
You
diet
could,
and then going
yeah.
back on to build muscle?
You could go keto. Like, it depends what you want to go keto for, whether you want to lose weight or whether you want to. It's just more manageable. Is that your
I just
question?
feel better on keto because if I'm doing a balanced diet, I won't have enough time to eat
Yeah.
3-4 meals a day.
Yeah, you will, but I just think it'll be a slow progression, and you'd have to make sure that your calories are there as well. But for some people, it is like it's easy to get in. For me, it's easy to get in a bigger breakfast with protein and fat than like carbs do. That I just don't think I digest carbs that well. Oats especially, I don't really digest them proper. But yeah, or you could if it's in terms of like managing your calories through the day, put your carbs in after your training session, and that's it. So like 800 calories of high fat protein for like 2 meals, and then another one at the end. That might not go well with everybody else, but it's just like your own individual. What's everybody else thinking though, like with meals? Is it easy for everybody to manage 3 or 5 or?
I prefer 3 but with a bigger tea.
What's that?
I prefer a bigger tea.
Yeah, I do as well. I do.
But then you feel like you're going home to something rather than
I do that.
crying at dinner eating a
Eating a real lettuce because you got like any calories left. Have you got any? Swanee? Got any?
No, mine was all towards the calories.
Yeah.
I've spun trade for different gyms. You're the only person who's actually said about eating 2,500 calories.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, you feel like, I'm eating like 9, but I'm not hungry for them.
Yeah.
But I can see there's no progression with like weight loss or muscle building.
Yeah.
But I can't eat 5-6 meals a day because what does it let you?
Yeah.
So I'm running on motorways and doing extra jobs.
Yeah.
And same with breakfast as well, because I can be out on the go. So I do have a lot of overnight oats and yogurts.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's giving me like bad sugars as well from it.
Yeah. Good question that. So if we say like for females, how many calories for those who've tracked it, how many calories do you eat, Ali? And do you struggle with that?
It depends. Like if I'm working on visit, I eat that quick sometimes. I can't always.
As in like physically stomach it. Do you manage it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it's about 3 meals. I can't do more.
Right.
I personally can't eat more.
I could eat 5 meals a day.
Could eat 5 meals a day.
Like, I don't have the time at work, but if I'm not in work,
Yeah.
because I can eat a lot of food.
Yeah. Are you saying that you can't physically eat it or like
Wouldn't
work?
do it, even though I was off work, wouldn't be able to eat 5 meals a
Right.
day.
Is there anybody else like that?
It's never been.
Stay, yeah. So I've said to loads of people in the past, you need to be eating this, but I'm too full, and it's fair enough because your body isn't used to taking in that amount of food. So like your digestive system isn't used to coping with that amount of calories. So what you've got to do there is in this PDF, there's a list of carbs, and it goes into different types of carbs. So there's complex and sugary. So what you're going to have to do to start with is where I'm on about sugary carbs and you'll be hungry in half an hour. You're going to have to start putting a few more of them in first, get yourself hungry, so that then you can start to slowly build up the intake of food that you're having. It's easier as well. Like avocados, 300 calories. Excuse me. Avocados, 300 calories. Rice, let's say 180 grams of rice is 300 calories as well. It's going to be easier to eat avocado than rice in it. So what you're going to have to do is look at the foods, like extra virgin olive oil is another good example, because you don't even see it in your food. So it's kind of like picking foods that's easy to eat, choosing what, and I'll do it with you, choosing what ones are higher in calories, and then slowly start to get yourself hungry, because in 2-3 weeks time you are going to be hungry, because you're going to be used to eating that amount of food, and that's how you get healthier, because in a day you're probably going to burn like 300 calories, and you're only eating 1,800. That's how you might struggle to burn fat or develop muscle, because your body isn't getting that amount of nutrients in, and that's the same with everybody. Like I'll eat about 3,000 and could still be hungry, whereas somebody who's brand new to Slot State, you said you struggled like 2,200, you're struggling.
Yeah.
So it's just the amount of turnover that your body's going through, and it's just a case of getting used to it, because then eventually you are going to be hungry, and everything that you're eating, you're going to partition and use, like all the vitamins, the minerals, the proteins, carbs, fats, whatever it is that you're going to be eating, you're going to be using it rather than not using it. And that's when your sleep gets better, and you have more energy, rather than like only eating. So let's say you eat 1,000 calories and only using 800 calories. It's just the same thing. So yeah, to answer your question, it's choosing foods what are going to be easy to digest. So I'll probably put fruit with most meals.
Matt, you know on that MyFitness plan, you know you were saying after 2,000 to 2,500, does it ask for a split of?
Oh, so your macronutrients.
Yeah. What's the split?
So there's no like cut and dry answer split for everybody, but in general, to get in your amount of calories in, I'll probably go for like 40, 30, 30 just to start with. So everybody will have like a base point where they just need calories in. Then they'll need to start thinking about the types of foods that they're putting in if they don't digest them well. Then you've got to think about putting them in at certain times a day. So like it's kind of like with your training, you start with good morning with a PVC pack, then you develop to deadlifts, doing 100k or whatever it is. It's exactly the same with your food. So you've got to get the right types of food in so you can eat enough. Then you can look at your food types if you're feeling like a drop in energy, and then that's when your own nutrition will sort itself out. So yeah, a good place to start at 40, 30, 30 because you've got 30% of fats because it will push your calories up then.
Can I just ask, like when you see pictures of someone who's done a challenge and whatnot, and they're completely like stripped all around the waist and everything, and they might be showing abs and all that. If let's say you just so not doing challenges but just consistent training, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, whatever it is, of just living that life, training and eating right and doing all the things what we're talking about, could you end up in that kind of shape, in that position, or does that only come from doing that kind of challenge and then getting into the last 6 weeks of a challenge and then like you or your trainer saying to you, right, only eat this, only eat that?
Yeah.
Or is it realistic to expect that could come from a consistent lifestyle of that?
So let's say you've got, this is where I need pen and paper. Let's say you're making a deficit. So let's say you've pushed your food up and you're starting to get hungry, your metabolism's firing. Let's say that we make a deficit of, I'll use me. So I'm at 3,000 calories and I want to cut in 12 weeks time. So I'm going to have to take my calories down 200. In 12 weeks time, I'm crap at maths, what numbers is that?
Total.
What's that?
Oh, overall, I think that
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Right, that's too low. Let's just say I end up at 1,800 in 12 weeks time. So that's a deficit of like 1,200 that I've created over 12
200 a
weeks.
week?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you take 200 a week off.
Right, okay.
In the third week, you'll notice that you're massively hungry because you're in a deficit of 600, whereas 3 weeks ago you weren't.
Yeah.
So that 600 calories a week that 600 calories a day that you're taking off.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 1,400 calories per week, and it's just going to keep getting lower and lower. By the time you get to the end of your 12 weeks and you drop body fat, like your thyroid's dropped, your ghrelin increases, like your hunger hormone, all these hormones come into place when you start to starve yourself. That's when you're like, and probably everybody's done it here, or most people have done it, I've done it, where you're like, right, I've finished, I want to eat everything now. And your hormones start kicking in, you want to eat everything. And I did it where I was like, right, I remember what's happened with people, think, right, I need to keep in check here. And for about 3 or 4 days after, I was like, bloody hell, right, I'll start now. And no matter how hard you try, your body wants food and calories because it's been starved for so long. Your sleep gets affected, your digestion gets affected, obviously you're moody because you need food. And this is why I've gone into this route as well, and it's not like doing like competitive stuff, because I don't think it's sustainable for everybody.
Yeah.
And people see pictures of challenges and things like that, and this is why I'm not doing challenges as well. And they'll see the before and after, and I bet half of you now are thinking, yeah, I know what you mean. You'll see a before and after, and you're like, right, I want that, and then they'll do it, and then the cycle starts again. So to answer your question of, is it sustainable? No, that isn't that way. But if you was to create a deficit over the course of 6 months, or 8 months, or 10 months, get yourself stronger. If you get yourself stronger, you develop more lean tissue. If you develop more lean tissue, you burn more body fat. Your posture improves, And before you know it, you're walking around leaner, and that food that you're eating at a weekend, you can easily burn off because, number one, you're not cutting everything away, and number two, you created more of a healthy lifestyle for yourself, rather than thinking, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. So you're going to create like a smaller deficit.
Yeah,
and
just
probably that-
far more gradual, so
Yeah.
you barely even notice it.
Exactly. And that deficit might be created through training.
Yeah.
It might be created through maybe a little mini 3-week, 4-week cut into your holiday, but it won't be an aggressive cut, and you're not going to have a massive rebound. So it's a case of just taking it gradual, learning about your body, learning about the food that you can eat, and slowly over time starting to see it. Because then, if you cut over six months, you're not going to have all them hormones kicking in, like hunger and stress and
But you
lack
could
of sleep.
you'd still cut in the same way as you might see challengers do
Exactly.
it, but you not have the
Just
negative
slower.
side effects as well.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Did that answer a lot of questions, a lot of answers to people, that? Yeah. I was going to ask a question, James.
I've got 3 sentences here earlier.
Oh, yeah.
3.
Yeah.
What's the impact or effect of each macronutrient on the body? So like protein obviously keeps you fuller and builds muscle, what that is. And is there anything else that it does in real terms?
So carbohydrates are a good source of energy. Fat is the longest sustaining source of energy, but it sorts out hormones. So like your HDL gets rid of LDL. So your bad LDL is like low density lipoprotein, which is like all the good food. By the good food, I mean bad food. Pizza, burger, all the good stuff, bad stuff. So HDL gets rid of that. So you push it back into your kidneys and your liver, and you can burn it off and get rid of the waste. So that's a good thing for fat. It gives you energy. For protein, your body's made up of proteins, like 20 amino acids, so your body needs that. If you're stuck on an island and you needed one kind of macronutrient, it'd be protein. So the other two are like kind of energy sources. Put them all together in one meal, and it's gonna help you level your blood sugar rather than just like eating carbs and then feeling hungry. So every one of them acts as a little bit of a buffer for blood sugar,
Right.
but they've got to be used together, and they work as one system rather than just building muscle or giving you a little bit of energy. What's the other two?
One which was, why was the split important? I think that's been answered, hasn't it? And the other one was, is a pre-workout drink useful if you're looking to lose weight?
Right, so if you're having pre-workout, like I never really have pre-workouts, apart from actually the last 2 days I've had pre-workout. Just I've needed it because I've been training with Anna. If you're in a calorie deficit and you're low on energy, then and it's like in the morning you don't like coffee, then I'd say have it. But you don't really need to spend loads of money on pre-workouts. It doesn't act as an aid to lose weight, other than if it's going to push you a little bit more and you might burn 100 calories, but it's
So
not.
for energy,
It's more so energy, yeah, not for losing fat, burning
So
fat.
like when I'm training first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
I'm going to get up a lot of coffee. I'm not going to make breakfast,
Yeah.
but I might then have a pre-workout drink then.
Instead of the coffee.
Or both. Just got a
Coffee, you know.
Going ham this lad. Bloody hell, worse than a Red Star.
So not both then.
No, definitely not more.
Right.
Bloody hell, I think I'd die if
That
I
word you said, you know when you said
No. What pre-workout was it?
Optimum Nutrition Gold thing you
Oh,
want?
the gold standard?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
The other one was making me shake.
Was it?
Yeah.
I've had one once and I'm sure it was like a bad batch of pre-workout. It's like shaking in the corners, rocking.
Is
True
right?
story, that.
One it was called Grenade, and I'm sure it gave me double vision and all sorts. So
The bad?
they're mine to this.
Yeah. Well, I trained once and I needed some energy, so I've just got it was Nathan or John's, just smashed the pre-workout in. Then I've been teaching a class and they've all been looking at me like that. Everybody's staring at me, I'm like,
That's a good question, that, James. I train at 6 in the morning, you know, when I just have a glass of water, brush my teeth, glass of water, and I go. What's the benefit of having a high caffeine pre-workout?
energy. Well, if you don't struggle with energy, so I wouldn't
Right,
use it, no. Is there any other questions?
Keep coming.
Alright, Steve.
Alright, yeah, thanks a lot.
No worries.
Seriously?
See you later.
Mine's just like what I struggle drinking like anything. I can go all day and not have a drink, but I don't sugar
definitely need it in. Like if you're struggling, just start gradual and build it up.
Yeah.
And even if you
Drink
need to put
like
cordial in,
Pop, but not water. Like Diet Coke.
put like lime in, or
What about sparkling water? No.
you're just gonna have to get it down, yeah.
Like, no, I can drink cordial.
Yeah.
I drink it really weak, but
Just have it really weak, rather than like dehydrating. Definitely just.
if I drink them, it's really weak.
That's what, when I drink water, that's why I don't actually drink it.
Because you're
Because
not
I
used to
anyway
it.
straight away.
You're not used to it. Just get like go through the process of it first, like.
But if it's there, I'll drink it. Like I've literally just drunk that full thing just because it's in it.
Yeah.
So I will drink it.
I've said to a few people, me like, there was always before I started at the Busy Athlete, I never drank enough water, but I didn't realise it. And in the day I'd have enough calories and stuff, and I'd still feel like knackered. And I'm getting less sleep now. But since I've started drinking loads of water, because the fridge is there, it's literally there, and there's always water in it, I'm always drinking. So I've gone from having like 2 litres and not wondering why I feel like I did, like tired or lethargic, to like going to 6 hours sleep and feeling way better than what I did when I didn't. And I've gone up to 6 litres now, like water. Yeah, I bet I drink about 6. Initially, like, I need to pee all the time, but then after that, yeah, I've gone from 2 to 6, and that is the reason why. I know it's the reason why.
Is that not too much though?
No, not for me. For you, 6 might be, but
Yeah, definitely.
so like, just see where you're at with your own body. Maybe like, where are you at now? Like, litres? 3. See 3, maybe 4 on your sound. What's that?
I had a bit of an issue and I had to go to the doctors, and the doctor said that they recommended like 3 litres, a minimum of 3 litres
Yeah.
of water a day, and you should go off your colour of your wig.
Yeah,
So if it's not, you're not hydrated, if it's not clear.
yeah,
So if you can
Yeah.
see the darker it is and the toilet is, you're not hydrated,
Yeah.
and you like that.
yeah. Anybody else's pee that colour? Mine used to be. It did. Not like finger. No, yeah.
Just go off your wee, so, and I make myself now in the morning, so I'll get up and I'll have my cup of tea, I'll have my breakfast, and then when I'm at work, I'll make sure in the morning I have a litre bottle, so I know,
So it's on your desk,
so I have a
you
litre
drink it.
bottle before I'll let myself have anything else, and then I just keep refilling it, so
Yeah.
3 litres, and like you say, you just get used to drinking it.
Yeah. I bet you was like going to the toilet all the time, weren't you, at first?
You start off going to the toilet all the time, but I think that's a psychological thing as well, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm drinking loads of
And then
water
once
in
you
the
get
toilet.
used- Yeah, you get used to it, and
Yeah.
you just forget about it.
Yeah. So I think a good starting point for people like looking for, right, what do I need to do now? You're like that.
Yeah.
Don't look chippy like last time.
Yeah.
What was the message that you sent me like?
Is this on the talk tomorrow?
Yeah. So a good starting point for everybody, I would say, get like if you don't put veg in your meals, go for putting at least two in 2 meals. Put some kind of veg in and like 3 different types, just in 2 meals. Start to track your calories. So ladies, like I'll talk to you all individually. Just message me and I'll tell you your calories as a rough guide. Everybody needs to put in at least for 2 meals 3 different types of veg. You all need good fats in, whether that's 60 grams for the day, tracking on MyFitnessPal, or whether it's you're going to use that as a primary source of fuel. So whether that's 100 grams a day. Vary your proteins, vary your fats, and vary your veg as well, and put fruit in, but with meals. And make sure you're eating, you're drinking enough as well. If you want me to do your weighing measures, message me as well. Don't fire in today. Just when you come in gym, I'm going to leave a book. I'll do that. So when you're in the gym, just write your name down on the book, and I'll sort it out. Has anybody got any other questions on nutrition?
Do you know when you say, like working out what's best for you, like how you react to things, how, like your sleep or your energy levels, how do you have to like just keep track
Trial
of
and
that,
error.
like
Yeah.
journaling, basically,
Yeah.
what's the best way to start?
Perfect way.
Like that.
Journaling, yeah. Like if
So it's just like it goes off what you feel?
yeah, try and give you an example. Like if I was to have high protein and high fat meal, I and I've trained as well in the evening, I would definitely struggle to go to sleep. Like at least 2 hours a time to go to sleep. Whereas if I was to train and then I had carbs at night, it brings down your cortisol level so you can sleep better. Or if you like, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're struggling to go to sleep, have some carbs and that'll help you bring your cortisol down as well. What's that? Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Stops you being mental.
So can you reverse it then? So if you like
Exactly, I was just going to say that.
starving thing in the morning.
Yeah, starting thing. Yeah.
In the morning, and then you'll have your high protein breakfast and whatever. Could you just have like, because I like the oats with me protein in, can you just have that for your
Exactly, yeah. I was going to say that with Alex. So if you think of it as your carbohydrates are going to help you go to sleep. If you flip it about to what I said about half an hour ago, whereas if you have oats in the morning, for most people or some people, it might affect your blood sugar and you have that mid-morning crash. It's because when you wake up, cortisol gets released, so you're up here. Naturally, your cortisol curve should go like that, but for some people or most people, it goes like that because you're constantly having carbs and then something else and then some bad food. So it goes like that, and all the stressful events that happen in the day. So the best way to manage it, for me personally, is go high protein, high fat when you wake up. So then you're down here, and then your training happens, so your cortisol goes up again, and then that's why I have carbohydrates after I train, because it brings your cortisol levels down. And then obviously when you go to sleep, if you want to put some more in, and then you start to have a restful sleep, then it works for me like 100%.
So if you train, what happens if you train at 6 o'clock in the morning, like some of us do?
Yeah.
Or
So you
before we go to
stagger
bed
it.
and then have it again.
So if you train in the morning, let's say you train at 6, if you need it, so like this is trial and error. For me, I'd have carbs after I trained. So let's say you train at 6 o'clock, and then you've got to go to work at, let's say, 8:30. So make sure you have your breakfast before it. I'd have some kind of carbohydrate in there, maybe like a big 600-700 meal, and then you can slowly start to taper it off. And you might find that at night time you need to sleep, but then if you struggle, put some more carbs in, because you'll be able to tell that you're quite high in cortisol still. Just put some more carbs in and just trial it. If you put in, let's say you put in 60 grams of oats and you feel like you're holding a little bit in the morning, just take a little bit away, or just take 200 calories away from your day before.
What about a noon to sleep? Does that not affect them?
Yeah, quality of sleep, like sleep cycles rather than like how good your quality of sleep is. You might laugh here, but Diana laughs at me. I've got some blue light blockers what I put on. Glasses. Yeah, there is. Seriously. Like, you're all laughing now, like that 3 of you have some when I go away. Like you're on Amazon. So, you're on your phone, blue light, you're watching the telly, blue light, you're watching Killing Eve or whatever it is, and like, you're constantly on your phone all day. Who's been lying on the bed and everybody's done it and just looking at the phone and can't go to sleep? Or you struggle, something's happened, or you trained and you still can't go to sleep. The blue light blockers tell your body that it's time to go to sleep, because that light that you're producing through your phone has stopped going through your to your brain. So then it kind of shuts down and you go to sleep easier. 100% works.
I have this thing called a smart dot.
Yeah.
And that works. What does it do? It like
Bluetooth.
like Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. So
Alpha and
we've got
beta
one-
waves.
We've
Yeah.
got one next to our bed, and then Liam will have it. To get the whole thing. And then we've got like a mat that goes under our mattress. And I said to Chris, I was like, nonsense, they don't work. You put it under while I was like away and didn't tell me. And like, I don't wake up now every night at all. And I used to wake up about 2 times every night to have a wake. Now I don't wake up once.
What's it called?
It's a smart dot. Oh my god.
Oh, you said you was bringing that.
Smart dot. I have one, but it's not a sleep dot.
What is it?
It's a smart dot for your phone.
Oh,
So it's like that. So I've got one on my phone. That's a
Is
smart
that
dot.
actually it?
Yeah, that's it.
You just stick it on your phone?
Yeah. And there's like a mattress with like a mat that you can put on your bed called sleep dot, but it's by smart dot. And then you get like an animal dot.
And what does it do?
Doesn't matter if you've got kids.
Blocks Bluetooth. So like,
If you've got kids, it won't.
apparently there's like alpha and beta waves.
Yeah, they're very good.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you just do it on your phone as much, would you say that?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, they say you recommend
Well, yeah, no.
you should have blue lights. You shouldn't
Yeah.
put the TV off on your phone an hour before.
Yeah. So like, if anybody's had a questionnaire of off me. It says, have you got like artificial light in your room? Because it does affect you when you sleep.
You can change your phone look, can't you? So my phone
Yeah,
goes
yeah, you can
yellow
dim it.
after like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have a blue light, it has a yellow light. You can just, if I got an iPhone, so it's like called night mode and it goes yellow at 7 till, at 7, oh, it goes yellow like 8 till 8. So it doesn't reflect the blue
Yeah.
light, it's like a yellow light.
So that again links with bringing your cortisol down, like switching off your phone because of the light. Another one, I've used it in the last week and a half, again you might think I'm sad but I don't care, is like journaling. I don't journal, but I just think of 3 things. Like, everybody's self-critical, so you go into sleep or you've got something on your mind, and you're thinking about the bad things that's happened rather than the good things. So what I started thinking about is 3 things that's happened that was good in the day, and I'd sleep better. Whereas
I've got a journal like that, but it's in the morning. It's called 6-minute journal. You do it, take 6 minutes every morning.
I bet it
You
chills you
write
out,
down
doesn't
like 3 goals, 3 things, and then you just start your day.
I bet it chills you out, doesn't it?
I've done it for about a year now.
And what is it?
Just like, and then it's nice like when I know I've been, like I don't feel stressed, but when I know I've been stressed, I've lived at what I've said, I've like what my things were that day, then
Yeah.
I'm not, if I've done things different, then I won't do it again.
It chills you out a little bit more. Yeah. It does work, like, it's little things like that, and it does work. And if you can manage your sleep, you're not going to be as stressful in the day, and you're not going to want shit food at the end of the day. That's the bottom line. Because who's done it where you've had a bad sleep and you go, Greg's, I've done it. I've done Greg's.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh no, I get all sorts. I'm not frightened. Yeah, it does. It's your sleep, it affects everything. Any more questions on nutrition?
Matt, you know these supplements like fish oil and magnesium, is there any part of the day that's best or can I just, because I know like when I go back, I'm going to train in the morning, get ready to work, then have my breakfast, then I want to put these supplements in because I know I'll forget the rest of the
In the
day.
morning?
And so it's
Yeah.
alright.
Whatever habit you can make, yeah. Put them in the morning.
Alright.
Any more on nutrition? So I can talk about natural fitness gains, then I'll let you all go if you want.
So olive oil's okay?
Extra virgin olive oil, yeah.
Can I make bacon?
Bacon? Yeah, like I put bacon in probably once, twice a week.
Yeah.
Just take the fat off,
Just
obviously.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that bacon, if that bacon keeps you on track for 6 months rather than like limiting everything that you do. I love food, like Diana will tell you, I love food. I love food. And if I take away some of the stuff, then it's going to knock me off track. So,
Well, I keep tea, so I'll give them bacon and then I'll just not have that, so I'll
Yeah.
have mushrooms, tomatoes, egg,
yeah.
and then I think to myself, well, I'm shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I
Is
was
that hex
told
sausage
to
you
rashes,
put
but I can't stand them.
Mm. They're a bit bland in there. But like, you can put in hex sausages as well, I put them in. But I just vary them. I wouldn't have them every single day. It's all about trying to vary everything so you don't go over into it.
So calories
No,
are
I think it's just-
What's that?
all your calories, just message you.
Message me, yeah, no. Any more? Any more? No? Everybody bang on with nutrition now. Yeah? Anybody gonna sit, get in the car and think, oh, we should have asked that? No?
So are
Right.
you saying, sorry,
Go on.
so are you saying that when you eat like that and your hormones and everything, you don't crave crap, basically?
Yeah, but not as bad. And you can, like,
Yeah.
if you have something, then you're not going to go on a 4-week bender where you don't go to the gym.
I gave up sugar for a year once, and I didn't have diet. See, this is the other thing as well. What about diet drinks? Because I didn't have Diet Coke as well for the first month, and I literally never even craved it. Like I just didn't even want it. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel
Yeah.
like just because I do drink diet drinks over water.
I forgot what the thing is in it. What's
Aspartame.
yeah, so that's in it. It's supposed to have
And it's-
like cancerous
yeah.
properties in it. So.
And it's poisonous for dogs, and I always think if something's poisonous for dogs, then it can't
Exactly,
be good
yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
It's but for
It's
us,
about what it's giving your body as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think what nutritional value does it
Exactly.
have? And that's
Yeah.
the key, isn't it? What's it giving me?
Yeah.
Because if you think of your food as fuel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the key, isn't it?
Exactly. But like, to answer your question, diet drinks, is it going to keep you on track? If you have them like once or twice a week, yeah. But then there's a fine line between once or twice a week and then 3, 4, 5 times a week, or going back to having it every single night. So it's just kind of like keeping yourself in check. Exactly, that's what I mean. So there's a fine line with everything, and you'll find your own way of like combating what you're supposed to be, what's more beneficial, more optimal for what you're doing. Seeing as though Sam ruined it about National Fitness Games, there's one in May. If anybody, like, I'm not pressuring anybody to do it. It's not CrossFit. You don't get like that same thing of CrossFit. Like, I don't know what you all think of it. I do it, enjoy it, but you can also get like that proper super competitive side of it where you get the odd. So it's not like that, and I wouldn't want to do it if it was like, oh, you're not good enough, or no, he's better, or she's better, or whatever. I want everybody to go into it as a team, and that's what it is. So it's like a team competition. There's no like technical stuff like ring muscle-ups or gymnastic stuff. It's all about competing through strength, fitness, and working as a team. And at the end of the day, it's something rather than just trying to lose weight, or it's another goal that you can keep working on to get yourself stronger and fitter. And it's in May. There's a few. There's like 3 in the year, or maybe 4. And it's at the Body Power in Birmingham. But it'll be a good weekend, so I think it's over the course of a few days. But it's an idea, and you can all shoot ideas over. But that's just one that's stuck in my head of something to train for, something to train up to. Because I always played football, so I know that I need something to train for. I don't know about all of you lot, but that's what I mean. And it's something to showcase what you've been working hard for. Who'd be interested in that? Yes. Does that mean you all would? Love it. But yeah, it's in Birmingham, so we've properly sorted out. I think it starts Thursday. I don't know if you know about Body Power, but it's like just a big hall, and it's just full of fitnessy people. So like stores with food. Notice I said food first. Like training, seminars, everything fitness, health related is there. But to top it off, you've got that competition thrown in the middle of it as well. So I think it'll be a really good goal to set for everybody. Be interested to see what you can all do as well. So you'll have that in the back of your head when you're training and you need to do 2 more reps or something. You're like, right, 2 more reps. And it works that way. It's as easy as that.
I went on the website after you put it on, and it gave you in May what the actual challenge was.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it told you what this year's challenge
What was it?
There was 3 rounds, 4 exercises in each. I think it was 1,600 metre run between you.
Yeah.
And they were just various exercises. There were 3 rounds, and in the last one it was just 3 of your, what do you call your heavy?
Oh, 3 rep max.
3 rep max, yeah, of deadlift, chest press, and
Pull-ups, the shoulder press.
yeah.
Oh, really good. Yeah.
It gives you what this year's games.
There's a £10,000 prize thing as well. Yeah, so that'll be nice, wouldn't it? Has anybody got any questions on supplements or anything? No. Is everybody comfortable now knowing that they can crack on with the nutrition? When you all started? So, Sunday night happens, and you know that you've got a busy week. Just to like round everything up, because it's like, I know you've got home still too. But Sunday night happens, or Saturday, whenever you're going to prep your food, is everybody 100% comfortable in knowing that they more or less know what they're doing with the food. Yeah? Don't be shy if you don't. Yeah? You're like, please don't ask me one reason. Please don't ask me one reason. But like in between now and then, if you've got any questions, or going forward, if you've got any questions at all, like I said, I am worried that it's been all about training, and I do want it to be nutrition as much as training. So just put your questions on there. What was it on, Ruth? Events.
Yeah, there's some videos on, and then
I'll put the thing on again. 3 venues, 5. it's like the 13th of May. Can't find it. But I'll put the link on there now anyway. But yeah, thanks for all coming.
Cheers.
Great bunch of people to have in the gym.
What about